Okay, now we're going to look at a 5-sector circular flow of income model. Any income that is not spent, that's not spent on businesses, is a leakage from the circular flow of income. Now, if leakages are not offset by injections over here, then there'll be a reduction in income, and it works like this. Let's just say that we're saving some income. That means that consumption has to fall because we're not spending as much before. Businesses are receiving less spending than before, they have less output than before, and they return less in income to households than they did before. Households have now got a smaller income, so they spend less, and the cycle goes on. Businesses receive even less, they pay out less income, and the economy shrinks. So we've got several different leakages, and we're interested in the relationship between leakages and injections. Now, we've got savings is a leakage, and that is a leakage from the circular flow, and it goes to the finance sector. We've got taxation, and that's part of the government sector. And the last leakage we've got here is imports, money that we spend on things from other countries, because that is income that isn't spent on our domestic economy. And so that's the foreign sector. Every sector has an offsetting injection. So the offsetting injection for savings is investment. Now, investment is when businesses borrow pooled savings. Government spending is offsetting taxes, that's the government sector, and exports offset imports. So now we've got our 5 sectors. What really matters here is the relationship between the sum of the leakages and the sum of the injections. So we've got this formula here, S plus T plus M, that's the sum of the leakages, and the formula over here, I plus G plus X, which is the sum of the injections. If the sum of the leakages is equal to the sum of the injections, then the amount of money that's being spent on the business sector will be the same as the amount that's received by households in the first place. And the system will be at equilibrium because businesses will return that spending in the form of income, and it'll just go around and around, same as before, except this time instead of all being spent, it's being saved, taxed, imports, and it's coming back in these various channels. Keep it clean, so I'm going to rub it out here. Now, it doesn't actually matter if the individual sectors balance. So savings does not have to equal investment. Taxation does not have to be balanced by government spending, and imports and exports don't have to be the same. They can be all over the place. What matters for our purposes when we're talking about equilibrium conditions is that the sum of the leakages equals the sum of injections. Now I want to talk about disequilibrium. What happens if the sum of the leakages, S plus T plus M, is greater than the sum of the injections? Well, we can represent that with this large arrow for injections and a smaller arrow, large arrow for leakages and a smaller arrow for injections. Less is being spent on the business sector than it was before, and less income is returned to households who spend less, and then we've got an even smaller amount of output from businesses, so an even smaller amount of income. And what will happen over time is that when households have smaller incomes, they save less because they need to spend all of their income to survive. You pay less in taxes. You earn less, you pay less taxes, that's normal. You spend less on imports. And so all of these things are leakages. So when incomes are declining, leakages will decline as well. And at some stage, this arrow will look like this. It'll get smaller and smaller and smaller. And at this point, we say that the sum of the leakages are equal to the sum of the injections. Get rid of all of these now. And the circular flow of income has re-established equilibrium, but at a smaller level of income than before. Now the reverse is true when you've got investment, government spending and exports which are larger than savings and tax and imports. And this could be, let's just say it's a big boost in exports. So we're going to have a bigger arrow going into injections this time, and a smaller arrow in terms of leakages. So we've got this extra spending on the business sector. They're going to require more resources. They're going to pay more for those resources. That's an increase in income. Households receive more income. They spend more. They save more. They get taxed more. Their imports are more. Now, this economy will continue to grow, but not as quickly as before. What's going to happen is that, keep rubbing out these messy arrows all over the place, over time, leakages are going to get bigger. Your income grows, so you save more, you get taxed more, you import more. And so, because our leakages are growing, we're going to end up with a situation where the sum of the leakages are equal to the sum of injections, and we're back at equilibrium, but this time we've got a higher equilibrium income. So that's the circular flow of income, the 5 sectors, equilibrium and re-establishing equilibrium. We'll be coming back to this, so make sure you know it.